During the South Carolina debate, a lot of viewers noticed that there was a lot of enthusiasm for one candidate in particular, and it's generally not the candidate that has traditionally seen enthusiasm from the crowds. That person being, of course, Michael Bloomberg. Kind of shocking, since, of course, you and we all watched the last debate, and he is essentially got destroyed, dismantled, mostly by Elizabeth Warren, but by many of the other candidates as well. And so that happened in Nevada. And following that, of course, Michael Bloomberg has seen his poll numbers decrease. Yet, for some reason, the crowd in South Carolina was very, very pro Bloomberg and had booed Bernie Sanders. That's super weird. So a lot of people were kind of wondering, hey, wait a minute, what is going on here? Why is the crowd so hostile to Bernie and so pro Bloomberg? Well, I mean, asking you shall receive, which I did on Twitter. And sure enough, now we know the answer. It's that he's essentially bought the crowd. According to local news station WCSC TV, tickets for the debate audience ranged between $1,750 to $3,200. So it's almost $2,000 for nosebleed seats and up to $3,000. Really? Not only that, but the Charleston County Democratic Party website noted that the only guaranteed way to get a ticket is to become a sponsor of the debate by paying, of course, these outrageous ticket prices. Now, look, I don't know about you guys. I would hazard a guess that, like me, you really can't afford that. That's just about what I make in a month to afford one of these tickets. And again, that is not something like going and spending that kind of money to go and sit in a debate audience is not what regular, normal working class people do. Just saying. But you know who can do that? Who can afford it? Rich people, insiders, right? Democratic Party insiders, to be specific. Generally, both of those groups, as I've seen from experience, tend to not be in favor of somebody like Bernie Sanders. They even, by the way, and to add more fuel, right, to the idea that is taken off, that Bloomberg has bought this crowd, remember that it's not just going against Bernie Sanders, but that same crowd booed Elizabeth Warren for calling Bloomberg out on his taxes and talking about the sexual harassment charges against Bloomberg, right, or allegations, and the woman who claimed pregnancy discrimination. All those elicited boos, but the naked Texas cowboy or whatever, the supposed joke by Bloomberg, claps, applause, and laughter. Could it be more obvious that he literally bought off the crowd? I mean, there seems to be no other explanation to that. Either he has paid off the crowd, or that same crowd has the class concerns of someone like Michael Bloomberg. In fact, here's the thing. The DNC was in charge of distributing, if I have this correctly, about 1/3 of the tickets. The Charleston Democratic Party in charge of the others, and I believe the rest was on sale. So, dude. Now, again, this did not go unnoticed. Primary voter Peter Davis told WCSC that the debate should be more accessible to grassroots Democrats. You know, regular working people that should supposedly be making up the base of the Democratic Party, and actually do, but are not represented by the party. He says, quote, "At the end of the day, it's still a money game. Whoever has the most gets to attend these kinds of events that should be public and should be easily accessible." Yeah. And that is the problem here. These debates are not accessible to the working class, to regular people. And by the way, it wasn't just a stacked audience that was troubling. If you were watching live on CBS, you might have noticed that during the breaks, the commercial breaks, they ran ads from Michael Bloomberg. Yeah. So that happened as well. Now, that outraged people that were watching. One New Yorker writer, Tad Friend, says or asks, what kind of rule allows the candidates to advertise during the debate? Or did Bloomberg just buy CBS? Another Bernie Sanders volunteer asks, okay, why the hell is there a Bloomberg ad on during the debate? How is this not a campaign finance law violation? Maybe it should be. But apparently CBS, I mean, the whole debate format was a disaster. The moderators had no control over the debate, and you had a stacked audience with Bloomberg ads. And not only that, but I had a lot of big pharma and anti-Medicare for all ads where I was watching. I mean, how is that allowed during a debate? And by the way, Michael Bloomberg was the only person who'd be able to afford to, buy not only Super Bowl ads, right, but ads during these debates. He spent over $500 million on blanketing the airwaves with his message. And his message is, of course, Bernie bad, I can beat Trump, and look at how how everybody who's worked under me absolutely loves me. Okay, then. Okay. Now, I want to bring out a couple of tweets here. Beth Purity Test Enthusiast says, the entire clown carnival of last night's debate, from tickets going from $17 to $3,200 to Bloomberg buying ads to the moderators having no control or asking zero questions about climate change, was a gross display of money destroying our democracy. And it spawned, by the way, the hashtag WineCaveDebate. I'm not sure, but I believe Kyle Kalinske might have started that hashtag. Again, I might be mistaken on that, but certainly was instrumental in getting it to trend. And look, that's what it is. Wine Cave Debate. Couldn't put it any clearer. Florida for Bernie says, the average American can't afford a $400 emergency. DNC, hey, want to be part of our live studio audience for the debate? Choose your seat, $1,750 to $3,000. And Angry About You says, hearing people cheer billionaires is a really bad look for a party that pretends to care about the working class. Exactly. Now, not only, of course, did social media weigh in, but you also had one of the candidates, Senator Bernie Sanders, the only one who actually complained about this, well, let me show you the video, and then I'll get to my thoughts on the rest.
Do you know how much money it costs to get a ticket down below?
How much?
I read that it costs $1,750. So to get a ticket to the debate, you have to be fairly wealthy. Most working people that I know don't spend $1,700 to get a ticket to a debate, and that's problematic. But, people, that's what the DNC did.
So that's Bernie Sanders talking about the ticket prices. Now, did you hear any other candidate talking about that? How there's no access? No, I can understand Biden ignoring it because that's the way it's always been. But Elizabeth Warren, where are you? Why aren't you talking about the stacked debate? Why aren't you talking about the ticket prices? She also got booed. Why is she not bringing this up? That's a curious question. Very curious. Now, a Bloomberg source, of course, comes out later and says, oh, no, Biden, the debate audience, no, you guys are crazy. They said that each campaign was allotted the same number of tickets by the DNC. The DNC. The totally impartial DNC. Right. They also denied allegations that members of the audience had received money. And look, to be fair, we cannot prove that they did receive money, at least for now. We can, however, prove that Bloomberg had bought ads that played during the debate. That is deeply problematic. Now, there are people defending Bloomberg and defending this entire thing. The whole idea that, hey, man, look, you should be able to go and sell these tickets to these debates for $1,750 to $3,000, and Bernie shouldn't be complaining about it. And they're also saying that the people that aren't complaining about it, you Bernie bros, you're just coming up with conspiracies. Oh, so okay, rich people being able to get into the debate crowd, that's bad. It's like that's fine. And you know, if you're rich, you should totally be able to buy a ticket to get a chance to boo at Bernie Sanders. Now, thankfully, this didn't have much of an impact on who actually won the debate, with a lot of people still saying Bernie Sanders hung onto the lead, which is good, but nonetheless, what's more worrisome here, I think, in the long run, is the fact that there are people in the party that don't care about a racist, sexist billionaire not only buying his way into the race and into the debates and had the rules changed for him after donations, and then has decided he wanted to advertise during those debates and allegedly pay off audience members to be on his side, and or at least stacking them full of his own supporters so that it's unrepresentative of the actual electorate. Well, I mean, look, that is deeply problematic. I mean, imagine if Bernie Sanders did that. I mean, you better believe that it would be massive, massive outrage. But the whole point of Michael Bloomberg's campaign is to stop Bernie Sanders, and more importantly, his army of working class supporters from taking back the party from the moneyed elites. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a patreon.com/TYTNation set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.